I have a proposal. Ryan Reynolds, please stop appearing in crappy movies.
Oh, stop that. Ryan Reynolds is awesome. Don't you never say nothing bad about Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, Leon has another man crush.
No, but that's the thing. We all like Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds is awesome. But he wouldn't know a good script if it came up and bit him on the ass.
Hey, man, he doesn't have to know a good script because he can deliver good lines.
Yeah, that is true. Even in the bad movies, you still go, God, I like that.
But he's been in several really good movies in the last few years, too.
Like
Has
Wolverine.
he?
Oh, wait.
No, this year, not so great. But like last year, he did Definitely Maybe, which is fantastic.
Okay, didn't see it.
All right, now the proposal, I don't know how many of you have seen the trailer for it, but it brings back Sandra Bullock, who's been absent for a while from these chick flicks and rom-coms.
Now, this is made in New York with a Canadian, right? This is that whole...
Yeah, go ahead and tell
man. Let me get it out.
Yeah, go ahead and tell about the
All
movie.
right.
Yep.
Sandra Bullock is a Hell on Wheels editor for a New York-based publisher. And she's a bitch of a boss. Like, you ever see those bumper stickers that say, I've never been the same since they dropped a house on my sister? She is that person. Like, everybody in the office is scared of her. And she fires a guy very publicly, just humiliates him. And then she gets called into the office, and they go like, hey, guess what? It turns out, like, your Canadian visa didn't go through. You did something, like, you went overseas when you weren't supposed to, and they're going to deport you back to Toronto. And that guy you just fired, well, he's gonna take over your position.
And yeah, you can't keep doing your job through telemail or whatever.
Yeah, she's like, oh, I'm from Toronto. I'll just do it over the internet. And they're like, nah,
it doesn't work that way.
You're
Once
gonna
you're
be
deported.
fired. And we're really sorry because you were good. You did something really good for us, but that's just the way it goes.
Yeah, you did this thing of being a bitch, so we're going to put you in a crate and send you back to bitch land where you came
The thing
from.
is, the bosses like her because she is good at her job.
Yeah, she's good. She get everything done just because she runs her office like a slave ship.
Yeah, it's the underlings who don't like her. And, of
Yeah.
course, that's why when she's put in a corner, she grabs Ryan Reynolds and goes, yeah, but we're getting married, like, immediately, much to his surprise.
So Ryan Reynolds is the guy to help her keep
I mean, he's been her
innocent.
bitch for the last 3 years. And she just pulls him in and says, no, me and him are dating and we're getting married. So that's going to solve everything. And they're like, all right, well, you go work that out with immigration.
Have the two of you told your parents about your secret love?
Impossible. My parents are dead.
What, are your parents dead?
Oh, no, his are
No.
very much alive.
Very
much. They're, well, we were going to tell them this weekend. Gammy's 90th birthday, and the whole family's coming together, and we thought it'd be a nice surprise.
And where is this surprise going to take place?
At Andrew's parents' house.
Where's that located again?
Why am I doing all the talking? Jump in.
Sitka,
Sitka,
Alaska.
Alaska.
You're going to go to Alaska this weekend? Yeah.
Yes. We are going to Alaska. That's where my Andrew's from.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't really believe it either. In fact, no one believes it, really.
Yeah.
Because there's just no way. Ryan Reynolds can't stand her. She can't stand anyone. You're all looking at this. The immigration guy's like, look, I'm going to keep checking back on y'all, but are you sure you want to go through
Yeah,
with this
he's
charade?
telling them, like, Ryan Reynolds is kind of going along with it, sort of. And he's telling them, like, all right, so I know this is a scam. And at the end of all this, when you fail the test, I'm going to send you back to Canada. And you, Ryan Reynolds, I'm going to fine you $250,000 and you're going to jail for 5 years.
Which raises the stakes. So he's like, okay, look, here's how it's going to be. You're going to make me a full-time editor, right? Yeah, because I'm going to get something out of this if jail time is on the line.
Shit, if there's jail time involved, then we'd be fucking every night. I don't give a damn if it's a fake marriage or not.
And we're going back to Alaska, where my whole family is, this is a city girl. She didn't want to go to fucking Alaska and go for my grandmother's 90th birthday. But the deal is they got to go there and pretend like, oh, we just got engaged with this whole family.
Yeah.
It is a fish out of water story for Sandra Bullock, but even so, they go there and his family are millionaires. They're the last thing she's expecting to go show up at a tiny little fishing village, and they live in a goddamn mansion.
Yeah, they do. I mean, it's like there's a mansion on a property that has a smaller mansion behind it.
Yeah.
And when they go through the town, almost every shop has his last name on it.
Now, this sounds like just a movie that you would take a girl to and fall right your ass to sleep.
This is not as bad as it sounds. Not to say it's real good, although I think that girl in question probably would like it. It's not for dudes by any stretch of the imagination. Ryan Reynolds is here to be the hunky, sensitive guy, which is exactly what he does, and he performs what the script asks him to. Sandra Bullock is here to play Sandra Bullock. She has lots of sort of that whole I'm kind of nervous and uptight, but slowly melting and breaking the ice in her, and she gets goofier and goofier as it goes along.
Where I disagree with you is that as far as Ryan Reynolds just there to be the hunky sensitive guy, the movie is really good every time he's on and says something, because the boy has just such great comic timing. And I don't know if he's improvising or helping write some of the lines, but just a lot of lines he says are funnier than you would expect them to be, and he delivers them in a way that makes them real funny. And the thing is, throughout this movie, you like these characters. I mean, they got a good cast. Mary Steenburgen, Craig T. Nelson, Betty White, they're all very good. They're all very likable. And the jokes are not bad.
They're
but
not great either.
Unfortunately, the biggest problem with this movie is it just doesn't aim high. Like, it could have tried harder. That's what I felt through most of it. It's like, man, you guys are good about leaving out the really offensive jokes, or like the ones like usually you see a movie like this, it's packed with so many dumb jokes, it just wears you down. And this one doesn't, but it doesn't have those great jokes either. And it's a likable, enjoyable movie. I would never own it.
No, I don't see any reason to go back and rewatch it either. But
Yeah,
you know,
me either.
It's not bad. There was some chemistry between the two of them. Maybe not
I
as
thought
much
they
as
had
I
a
would
lot of
like.
chemistry.
I don't know. There's a point where they finally you can tell something is clicked, and between them for the first time, which that moment, which in this case was just chemicals kicking in, and you're just like, yeah, I just went, yeah, I don't buy it. It's not working for me. They're not selling it.
I totally did, because they had good chemistry when they hated each other, and they had good chemistry when they started to kind of get fond of each other too. Now, you would love it because there is a Sandra Bullock nude scene. Not that you see nipples.
Wait a minute,
or anything.
what?
Almost.
I mean, she's in the tub. I mean, like she comes out of the tub wet, naked, and she's just like holding, her hands over the.
All she's
the
wearing
naughty
is her
parts.
her arms.
But you get to see. I mean, you get to see enough. You get excited about it.
Okay, that is not a nude scene, all right? If you ain't seen no nipple and pubes or something, that ain't nothing. For
Yeah,
you.
well then you don't
it's
want to
pretty
see
good.
the other almost nude scene in here. Well, the thing is that it's not a sexy scene. The closest they get to trying to be sexy in here is a scene where Ryan Reynolds slowly takes his shirt off and stretches out.
Well,
in
it's
the
a
sun.
Ryan Reynolds
It's a
movie.
girl
You know he's going to
chick
take his shirt
flick,
off.
you
That's
know?
the fucking thing. It's like, let's get into this movie. I was like, wow, he's not going to take his shirt off.
Oh, there it is.
It's funny because Ryan Reynolds is going to take his shirt off in any movie.
Oh, I know.
Ryan Reynolds could be in a movie about him talking to a kid with cancer. He'll be in the hospital. That kid will be like, Ryan, why the fuck you taking your shirt off right now, man? I'm
It's
dying
in
of
my
cancer.
contract.
Yeah.
If he ever wins an Oscar and he looks down, sees the cameras, he'll be like, "Oh, okay."
Hey, Ryan Reynolds' nipples cure cancer.
I was about to say, it's like, kid, aren't you feeling better yet? He's like, It sounds like it is sort of one of those smarter romantic comedies. One where it says that it leaves out certain things, like the montage. It leaves out all the gross out jokes. I mean, it's going to be predictable, so you can't really hold that against it.
Yeah. I wouldn't come into that trying to hold it against it. I mean, it's one of these movies where it's not necessarily plausible, but it is possible, the plot.
The weirdest thing was that there was so many great setups for Betty White, who is genuinely a really funny actress. I really like her a lot. Not the same way Corey does, but I really like her a lot. And I don't feel like they took full advantage of her.
No, see,
here.
okay. Normally,
like Corey would.
Like Corey would.
Now, I was about to say, Sandra Bullock getting nude, whatever. But Betty White, I'm like, hey.
Now, normally what taking full advantage of Betty White means, outside of whatever Corey would do to her, means having her say shit and motherfucker a lot.
Yeah.
Just for shock value. And she doesn't do that at all.
No,
And I
no,
was-
this
I
is
was happy about that.
PG-13, right?
Well,
It just one they didn't have her talk dirty.
That's one of the nice
people
things
love
about
to get her
this-
on there just to go like,
Yeah.
oh look, we got an old woman saying dirty words. Ain't that funny? And it's like, no.
Wow, incredible. Maybe a tad loose in certain areas, but otherwise,
Oh, sorry, I'm a bit chesty to begin with, and I happened to be knocked up when I wore this. Oh, let's see if we can find your boobs. They're in there somewhere.
yes, they are.
It's like an Easter egg hunt.
Maybe they shrunk up in the cold Alaskan air.
Oh, there they are.
Yes, it would be.
And Ryan Reynolds, him and his dad, they hate each other, and it's in a realistic way. I mean, like the arguments they have, you see that. It's not one of these like the music comes in, you go like, oh, those two kids will work it out. It's like at the time it ends, you're like, well, they'll probably be civil to each other, but I don't see these two guys ever really liking each
yeah,
other.
those things are what makes it seem like a real family and what in the end sells the film.
Okay, so what would you give the movie?
I still have to give it rental. I mean, maybe if there's such a thing as a high rental.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you could see it on TV, and it's not going to take anything away from seeing it in the theater. But I'm just saying, if your girl's going to drag you to something, matinee, I guess, but mostly a rental.
Yeah, it's and this is specifically from me, the only person I can judge it from. It's a high rental, I mean, which means get high first and then rent it. No, I mean the higher end of rental. I was toying with low matinee, but
Me too.
really I had to be honest with myself and go, you know what? It's not that special. It's just that it doesn't do anything that bad.